Today, I'm going to give you a no BS guide on how to create viral thumbnails using ChatGPT's new 4.0 image generation using the three following formats. First off, we have personal photos on original ideas, PNG drops, and sketches. And then third, downright stealing somebody's thumbnail and swapping your face onto it. The first strategy that we have is taking a personal photo and then prompting ChatGPT to create the thumbnail and the environment around it. My personal favorite, and credit goes to Arslan here, is of him with Steph Curry here in the Golden State Warriors arena, and you can see the source image below was just a simple photo of him doing a pose, and all he's done from that point on is he went into ChatGPT, said something along the lines of, hey, I want you to take this image, put me in the Golden State Warriors jersey in the arena with Stephen Curry using the same pose beside me. And then ChatGPT's 4.0 image generation created something like this. Right before I dive into the live demo, the way this strategy actually works is it uses heavy-based text prompting because you have to describe the scenario just because the photo you uploaded doesn't really have much context by itself. So what happens is you'll often have to do more revisions in order to actually make this work and go out properly. The big upside of this is that you get completely original ideas and thumbnails like the ones I just showed you, but the downside is that the image memory on ChatGPT is still improving, so if you have to make revisions when something's not perfect, it might mess up other elements. Okay, so what you can see here is the first prompt that I actually used. So I said, this is me. I want you to create a YouTube thumbnail 1280 by 720 of me dressed like a volcano explorer. Keep my expression the same, have a tropical forest background leading up to a volcano that has red magma, then have a blue sky in the background with a few clouds and birds around the volcano. From that point on, it generated me this, which I'd say is fairly accurate. I'm in the Explorer. I have a little backpack that they added. Volcano has the red magma coming from it. It has the birds around it. It has that tropical forest, which gives a great contrast, the green, blue, and brown here, with also the big red volcano makes it pop. And then, yeah, the clouds as included. So this is really good. The only issue is that it's animated. So what I did here is I went through a crazy long stint of trying to make it realistic. I got like half of one here and it kept giving me issues. So what I actually did is just kept trying, switching between the ChatGPT app and web, which is something that's going to happen because this is natural and first just coming out. By the time you see that's probably improved. And then I finally got it to work and it gave me this result here, which I can't say is absolutely amazing and realistic to me. I could probably play around with it to make it look with my face more, but given this is the first strategy and purely based off text, I think it did a pretty good job. That's strategy number one of the three complete. It is by far the least effective because when you are just using text prompt, there are way too many variables around the environment and what it's actually going to be. The easier alternative is strategy number two, which I'm about to dive into. The second strategy is the PNG drop slash sketch. And pretty much what this is you are taking either the raw elements of a thumbnail or you are sketching them. And instead of letting the AI actually decide what the outside variables are going to be, you are actually saying, okay, this is what it's going to look like. And it's going to allow you to do the graphic design. This is the most powerful strategy that you have in your toolkit if you don't have the graphic design skills, but still have a pretty good eye for a thumbnail. The first example of doing this is this one right here. And I don't take any personal credit for these. These are all the guys on Twitter that I'm innovating alongside. You can see on this top thumbnail right here, the guy's taken a few elements. There is an ice mountain, which literally still has a watermark on it, a Russian flag coming out of it, and just an image of him. Any good thumbnail usually has around 3 core elements. So if you follow this principle, the AI understands it really well. And all he's asked the AI is to pretty much blend himself in and make it one cohesive thumbnail. And you've gotten the one down below, which looks extremely good. Now, to show you a second example, this is one that is a lot more design based. So to show you what actually happens, it is a normal image of him, just like I showed you in the first example, except instead of saying, hey, design this as a 24-hour Shopify challenge, he is shown where he wants a 24-hour text. He shows that he wants a dark room in the background, the amount of money, and then the actual plus percentage, and then also the Shopify logo over here, and says follow the exact instructions in the image. And then it's given him a really banger thumbnail. I think this would perform extremely well in an education or business niche like I primarily do. Now, the next one is a perfect example of a sketch. So as you can see here, though this is not a person, which I'm going to show you how to do if you have a face to your brand in the next one, he has drawn a very simple image of a stick figure of him showing a pretty much golden play button and have some trees in the background with a green Lambo, mountains, and a blue sky. Just a pretty much high contrast kind of flexy guru style thumbnail. Said, hey, turn this sketch into a hyper realistic YouTube thumbnail in 1920 by 1080, process the millionaire and the right arrow text next to it going to him. And it created a really good example. Now, this is not a real human being, so if you actually do have a face to your brand, you're going to need to follow the strategy that this guy does here. Whereas you can see here, he's used drawn color coding and done it a little bit differently. He has an upload headshot so the actual AI can know what to do. And then from that point on has drawn what each image is actually going to look like and given little descriptors here. And then also just said, hey, follow the exact instructions that I've given you, and it produced this extremely high quality kind of before and after airplane video, which historically, if you know YouTube, Mr. Beast has uploaded one that is one of his most viewed videos on his channel. This guy right here has done it a little bit differently. For the more artistically inclined people, he has done a drawing of a castle and then also of himself and what he's going to look like with a VR headset. Now, when it actually converts, it looks extremely good, probably because the AI knows what he looks like. However, most of us probably can't draw like this, and doing a PNG drop, just like I showed you on the first Alaskan one like this, would probably achieve the same, if not better results. And then the final example of this I have is a Squid Game prompt that I saw, where a guy pretty much draws the basics of a Squid Game guard because the AI can identify what it is just by him explaining it, and then saying, hey, I want a rich billionaire guy smoking a cigar next to him. And it created this thumbnail with the Squid Game people in the back, which I genuinely think would be an extremely high performing thumbnail. Now we're on the third strategy and the least ethical, which is straight up face swapping or stealing thumbnails. And this is going to be a game changer for niches that are especially changing the information and more education style, because with entertainment, there might be a little bit more novelty and nuance involved. However, when we're doing the same format again and again and again in a niche like marketing agencies, and we're just swapping out the person's face and maybe the number that we talk about, it is now a game of novelty, but you can pretty much swap out someone's thumbnail. To show you an example of this, I did a sleep optimization video where I took an image of this guy here and I said, can you take this guy and make me a photo of him sleeping? So it gave me this image and I was like, okay, well, that's pretty solid, but I want to turn it into a thumbnail. And this is as I was learning the prompts. So I took a winning thumbnail by, I believe his name's Brian Johnson, the health optimization guy. And I said, I want him to redo the image with text so I can use it for my thumbnail. Gave me this, and I realized the issue is that I didn't ask it for 1920 by 1080. So I asked it for that exact same format here, and it gave me this thumbnail, which is a complete replica of the one that I sent up here, which had 2.2 million views on YouTube. So this is going to be an extremely good, high-performing thumbnail. And pretty much from that point on, I just asked it to go ahead and remove the text so I could have the freedom to edit it a little bit more. And the final copy that I ended up making was like this. And it's a video that would honestly perform extremely well, and it's just been done completely from scratch using a raw PNG and then using that PNG to swap out into thumbnails. So if you make thumbnails for clients, this could be extremely beneficial for you. And then also just for people who don't have the time to do all the graphic design, maybe busy entrepreneurs themselves, you can actually just go ahead and find winning thumbnails and swap yourself in. If you're posting mass content, it's extremely effective. Here's an example of me doing this and actually avoiding one of the pitfalls here. So there was a video that I really wanted to make, and this was the thumbnail for it. I thought this was a really good thumbnail. It's talking about how much money this guy Iman made from a single YouTube video, and I wanted to make this thumbnail for myself. And initially when I asked and put in my number here, it made me this, which is a terrible thumbnail that wouldn't get any clicks because it absolutely butchered me, and I also didn't ask for it in thumbnail format. As you can see here, I kept fighting it, trying to make it give me something different by uploading more images, and it just wasn't improving. So what I actually decided to do, which is an absolute game changer, especially if you have face involved in your content, because it is going to butcher it sometimes, is I literally just removed the actual face from the entire process. I removed the face from the thumbnail, just had the numbers switched, and then I just grabbed my own PNG in Canva like this, put it over, then I subbed it in, and this video is performing extremely well on my channel right now. Here's another example of this. So this was a winning thumbnail in the email marketing niche, and this is one of my clients here. And what I pretty much did is I asked, just as a demo, to actually see what it would look like if there was a swap done. Initially, it was all right. Okay, not too bad. Then I tried another face one, and it got a little bit better. However, this is not still amazing. The core feature and how I actually recommend using this is I just recommend removing the actual face element from the thumbnail and having it complete itself. And then from that point on, what you can actually do is just plug the image back in and then apply some shadow. And now you've properly actually taken the thumbnail and it's still going to be good. So those are the three main use cases when it comes to thumbnail generation using this new ChatGPT 4.0 image feature. And really, the implications that this is going to have on YouTube, especially for education businesses, are massive. If you were a creator before that maybe relied on having thumbnail designers or maybe just not using thumbnails at all on your content, you have absolutely no excuse now and can put out top level content at a much more rapid scale while keeping the information in the video simple and getting high click-through rates. It's an absolute game changer for anyone that runs some form of online coaching, education business, because now you can attract a lot more viewers at a rapid rate. I am now running my own YouTube channel and all my clients' channel as a one-person AI-powered content team, and it's allowed my coaching business to scale to 160K a month with this strategy, in addition to all the other features that you can use on YouTube and AI when it comes to titles, ideation, scripting, and hooks. And really, if you don't have a banging YouTube channel and are putting out content at mass, you are behind because the new era is here and AI is taking over. Anyways, I hope the value that you got from this video was worth the time that you spent, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.